What is up, guys? Welcome to my trailer breakdown for what I think is probably the final Crisis on Infinite Earths trailer. I'm sure there will be some maybe other TV spots, but in terms of large trailer, this is most likely the last one, as the Crisis is coming out in less than a week. Now, this trailer is significantly longer than the other ones. The other ones were originally like 10 seconds, then there was a bigger one, which was half a minute. This one is a minute and 40 seconds long, so there's going to be a lot to break down, and I'll do so in this video. So first, let's watch the trailer. I might cut out a little bit of the trailer, if not most of it, because of copyright issues, or I might not. I don't really know yet, but let's watch at least some of it, and then I'll break it down.
The multiverse. Every existence multiplied by possibility and spread out in infinite measure. Now there is a malevolent force at work, one driven by a singular goal. The destruction of all there is.
There's a wave of antimatter sweeping across this universe, destroying everything in its path. I brought you all to Earth-38 because this is where the Monitor wants you to make your stand.
Right, so we are going to need a bigger team.
You want some help?
The entire universe needs you.
Across space and time exist 7 heroes who can save the multiverse.
I'll find them. You are Clark Kent, right?
Bruce? Kate.
We need your help to stop this antimatter wave.
All right, then Flash.
Oliver! It is time! Has the planet been evacuated yet? Not entirely. Then it's not time!
One thing is certain. Everything we know, everything there is, and everything there ever was, is doomed.
The trailer begins with a speech from the Monitor, where the Monitor says that he talks about the multiverse, the endless possibility, and how there's a force that's coming to destroy it. Obviously, that force is the Antimatter, but either way, this is a really, really interesting and cool speech. While he's saying this, there's a couple shots over the heroes, like the main heroes. There's a shot of Oliver on Lian Yu with Mia, which is going to continue right from the next episode of Arrow, which is coming out tomorrow, actually today in America, Purgatory, where I'm guessing it'll end with Oliver and Mia still being on Lian Yu, and then this shot is probably right before, or maybe right after, the Harbinger recruits them. There's also a shot of Batwoman, a shot of White Canary with Brainiac 5 and Lois behind her in the bunker, or going down to the bunker, which is something that it's probably maybe from the Arrow episode, because I'm guessing when it comes to the episodes, each episode will use the set of that show. So for instance, episode 1, which is the Supergirl episode, is definitely using the Supergirl set, as it takes place mostly on Earth-38. The Batwoman episode is mostly going to take place in, or at least partially going to take place in Gotham City, and while it does seem like episode 3, which is the Flash episode, will mostly take place in the Wave Rider, not in Star Labs, I do think that for all the other episodes, they're probably going to mainly use the set of that TV show, which makes sense because I have those sets ready for those shows and those episodes, so I'm guessing episode 4 is when we'll see the bunker. So we see a shot that continues from a shot we saw in a different trailer, where you see Supergirl crying about something while Alex and John are beside her. It definitely was clear that it was the destruction of some world, but what I didn't think is that it was the destruction of Argo on Earth-38. I thought it could either be the destruction of Earth-38 as a whole, or maybe some random universe. Now, it being some random universe does definitely feel a little bit unbelievable, because Kara seems very personally attached to whatever she's looking at, while Alex and John don't. I thought maybe it could be that Kara is just more compassionate than them, but it definitely makes more sense that it is Argo. Argo is obviously where her mother lives, where all the remaining Kryptonians live, and also where Superman, Lois, and their son John currently live, and I'm guessing this obviously happens after they are removed from Argo, after Superman, Lois, and John are removed from Argo by Harbinger, because otherwise they would be dead at this point. But this makes sense with Kara crying over this, because her mother is there, as well as the rest of the Kryptonian culture is on Argo as well, and obviously because of that, Kara would definitely feel personally attached to the destruction of Argo. But what it seems like they're doing here is that the crisis will probably begin with the destruction of Earth-38, or at least the impending destruction. Which means that the crossover will begin with the world or the universe about to be destroyed. So the Monitor and Harbinger go to Earth-38 specifically to get those people and those heroes away from the universe as quickly as possible, because it seems like the antimatter wave is going to Argo first, but it also seems like it's going to get to Earth. Again, if it hit Argo while Superman and Lois and John were there, they would all be dead at this point. But I'm guessing what's happening here is that Earth is like the center of the universe or something, which I think in some continuities it is. I don't know if it's the DC universe or something, maybe it's a different one. Either way, here it might be where Earth that's where the antimatter wave will end its destruction. So now, where it's further away from Earth in the universe, it destroys other planets before it gets to Earth. And what we're seeing here is obviously the destruction of Argo, which makes sense because one character we knew was appearing in this episode is Allura Zor-El, the mother of Kara Zor-El, who lives on Argo, and also we're going to see Argo anyway with Superman and Lois and John, so yeah, it definitely makes a lot of sense what they're doing here. It's just that I didn't expect this at all. Another thing I never would have expected is something we see in this trailer. It basically confirms that in the first episode, Earth-38 will be destroyed, and I'll get to that once we get to that part of the trailer. So there's a shot of all the heroes that are currently in the DEO. I just realized that the Flash isn't there, so I guess this takes place before he is recruited. But we see all of them, which is Martian Manhunter, Mia, Batwoman, Supergirl, Green Arrow, Superman, Lois, as well as Brainiac 5, all looking at the sky. And they're looking at what seems like a red sky, which this is probably how the sky turns red, which is because the whole universe has already been destroyed by the antimatter wave, which is pinkish reddish. It makes sense that it would turn the sky red because the sky can't be the sky, or it can't be something like space or something if it's night, because there's no space. Earth is the only thing left, because like I said, my theory is that Earth is probably the center of the universe, and with everything else destroyed, there's nothing left except for a red sky as well as Earth. And I'm guessing that's what they're seeing here. Most of the universe, except for Earth itself, has been destroyed by the antimatter wave, and they're looking up at a red sky, and now Earth is about to be destroyed. So what they're going to do here, as we see in this trailer, they're going to evacuate the Earth, move all these people to another Earth, which, unless that universe, that other Earth is unpopulated, that certainly wouldn't work. So with Green Arrow, Mia, and Batwoman, as well as the heroes of Earth-38 all in the DEO, Harbinger tells them that the universe is being destroyed, and like I said, this, I think, like what we see here, is what the first episode will mostly focus on, which is very different from what I expected, because in the original Crisis, what happened in the end is that a couple universes combined. It's not like every universe was destroyed except for one. It was 5 universes that remained, and the Monitor used these machines to bring them all together to make a stronger universe that can fight the Antimatter, and I expected the same thing to happen here, especially since there's like 2 or 3 main universes: Earth 1, the Earth-38, the Black Lightning universe, all universes that you would expect to be all in the main universe, the main DC universe. Earth-38 especially, the main Superman, the main Supergirl, Martian Manhunter, the Legion of Superheroes are all from Earth-38, so you would expect for the Monitor and for the people behind the scenes really to do what they did in the comics, to use that concept of combining these universes, but they didn't do that, it doesn't seem. It seems like what we see in this trailer is that Earth-38, the whole universe, is being destroyed, and they're moving all the people from Earth-38 to Earth 1, which obviously wouldn't really make sense, or at least wouldn't work, because Earth 1 would be way too overpopulated, unless both universes both have like half of the real world population, and then combined they have a regular population, because, I mean, other than that, the world would be way too overpopulated, and the storylines that it would create out of the new TV shows would be so much crazier than what I expected, but at the same time, it definitely would be a little bit simpler, and maybe not everybody from Earth-38 can survive, maybe only a handful of people, maybe only a couple million people, which wouldn't really affect the population of Earth that much, or at all really, so that is definitely something that may be happening, which is very different from what I expected. And also the destruction of Argo, that definitely is different. All of this is specifically for Supergirl. It's going to affect that show so much more than I expected, which I already expected it to be very, very, very changed by the fact that it's going to be set on the same universe as The Flash, and not Arrow anymore really, but it's going to be on Earth 1 or the New Earth. So after Harbinger tells the heroes of Earth-38 as well as the Green Arrows and Batwoman about the impending crisis and what's going to happen to this universe, Oliver says they're going to need a bigger team. So Oliver basically says we're going to need more heroes and we're going to need a bigger Justice League. And they're not allowed to say Justice League in this crossover or in the Arrowverse at all. I mean, they did say Justice League once. Elena from Arrow called Team Arrow Justice League, and it's crazy they're allowed to call that Justice League, but not this actual Justice League, the Justice League. But with Oliver saying we're going to need a bigger team, that basically right there is already the formation of the Justice League, which is awesome. So, the Flash shows up, and what I didn't expect from this awesome-looking shot is that this is the debut of the Flash in this crossover, or at least in this team. I'm guessing there's going to be the shot we see where Harbinger recruits Barry, but then this shot where he runs to Earth-38 and helps out Supergirl, Superman, and the rest of the Justice League, and also joins the Justice League. But what we see after that is that Oliver tells Clark that the universe needs you, with the Monitor saying that there are 7 heroes across the universe talking about the 7 Paragons. From what we see here, it does seem like Superman from Earth-38 is not one of the Paragons, but what it seems here is that 2 characters who are Paragons are Superman and Batman from 2 different other universes. It also seems like Earth-38 Superman's main mission here in the first part is to recruit some of these Paragons, and also it seems like Lois and Iris will be joining Clark, but it seems like it is Clark's main mission. First, we see a shot of him in the Smallville universe where he recruits seemingly one of the 7 Paragons, which is Tom Welling's Superman, which makes sense because he's a character who had more TV show seasons than any character in the Arrowverse. It does certainly make sense for him to be one of the 7 Paragons, but also he's probably the most powerful character or hero in the Arrowverse and the whole multiverse. Is what we've seen from him before, where he pushed a planet by himself, the entire apocalypse, I'm pretty sure, at the end of Smallville. That's not something any other version of Superman can do, I don't think. I mean, the Brandon Routh version lifted an island. Tyler Hoechlin's never done anything like that. Tom Welling is probably the most powerful hero in the multiverse, or at least one of, so it definitely makes sense he's one of the 7 Paragons. But also, it's really cool. I said this before, I'm not exactly a fan of Smallville. I haven't watched most of it, and it is a little dated for me, but either way, it's really cool seeing Tom Welling being one of these 7 Paragons. It feels like he's this retired legend that they're bringing back, and for him to help save the day, it's really cool, and it does seem like he is one of the 7 Paragons. I don't know which logo would fit him, but it does seem like that's what they're hinting in this trailer. It could also be interesting for them to explain why these versions of Superman look different and why other characters across the multiverse look different from their alternate counterparts, which is something that I think is teased in this trailer, where Clark from Earth-38, talking to Tom Welling's Clark, says you are Clark Kent in a confused way because he probably expected his alternate counterpart to look like himself. And out of all the characters that we're seeing in the Crisis, Superman is the one that looks different. There are a couple other characters like Lois Lane looks different, Barry Allen looks different, but at least those are probably they have their counterparts or something. But also Superman has 2 different counterparts, and one of them looks like the Atom also. It's a little bit weird, but I hope they explain why these people look different, but also for Brandon Routh, why they look the same between Clark and Ray. The trailer also hints that another one of the 7 Paragons is Batman, which it seems like it's the Kingdom Come Batman because of what we saw in the photos, and also here, he's more inspired by Kingdom Come's Batman. He's older, he has a broken body, and he's wearing this brace to keep it together, so I definitely think that this is the Kingdom Come version of Batman, but also he recognizes Ruby Rose's Kate Kane, and with Clark Kent looking different in this universe, you would expect other characters to look different in this universe as well, and also with Ray looking just like Clark Kent in this universe, it definitely is weird out of all the people, for Batwoman to look the same in both of these universes. That is unless maybe this is Earth 1. It is a little bit confusing, but I do think that Batwoman does look the same in the Kingdom Come universe, and this is Bruce Wayne from the Kingdom Come universe, but also it does seem like they're setting him up to be one of the 7 Paragons, which could be interesting, or at least that's something that's hinted at in this trailer. So in the trailer, we see our first look at the Shadow Demons. If you don't know who they are basically the cannon fodder that worked for the Antimatter. However, they weren't exactly cannon fodder. It's not like they were just there for the Justice League and the rest of the heroes to beat them up, to show a big army fighting the heroes, but that they actually killed certain heroes. The ones I can think off the top of my head are the Earth 2 version of Green Arrow, as well as the original Dove. I'm sure there are others, but off the top of my head, those are the ones I remember being straight up killed by just the Shadow Demons. So I think it could be interesting if in this crossover the Shadow Demons feel like more than just cannon fodder. They feel like they can kill certain heroes to make them feel just a way more threatening. But this is our first look at them. They have this blackish blue design. See, in one of them it has an ear, it seems like, so maybe they're actually going to have faces to humanize them a little bit, I guess. But with them being blue and black and also having shadow powers, it really reminds me of Obsidian, who is not seemingly appearing in this crossover as he would be way too old in the present day, but it does remind me of Obsidian, which is interesting because literally in this season also of Supergirl, they have a character named Akrata who has shadow powers, and she owns a company called Obsidian Tech. I don't know what's with all this intentional or unintentional nods to Obsidian, but I really want to see him again. He was really cool, his powers were awesome, but we're seeing the Shadow Demons for the first time in this trailer, and from what we can see, they look really cool and hopefully really threatening. So the shot of Supergirl and Superman with the skies are red, probably from part 1 with Earth-38 being destroyed. There's also a shot of Renee and Dinah being killed with the Earth 2 versions. It's weird to have a shot from that episode, the first episode of Arrow Season 8 in here, but they also put a shot of the Elseworlds crossover for some really unusual reason. I don't know why that shot is in there. It's really weird. For the Earth 2 being destroyed shot, it makes sense because it is connected to the Crisis, but for Elseworlds, which yes, was connected to the Crisis, but this shot it's just so weird to be in this trailer. But there's also a shot of the Atom being sent out of Earth-38, and then later we hear Green Arrow ask if the world is evacuated, which is probably what's happening here. The Monitor is taking all these heroes out of Earth-38 because the whole battle with the Shadow Demons or whatever's going on here has all ended. There's an interesting shot of Sarah and Lois in the bunker, where this is also a shot we see earlier with Sarah, Lois, and Brainiac 5, where it seems like they were maybe sent on another mission to find either one of the Paragons or something else. But what's weird here is that the bunker doesn't look like our bunker, because this bunker is completely abandoned. It could be from the future, but at the same time, the future characters were using the bunker, so it wouldn't be this abandoned unless it's from an alternate future. This does kind of remind me of Star City 2046. And it's possible they're returning to this alternate future, but it's also possible that they're in an alternate reality, an alternate universe, where maybe another version of Oliver Queen, and this would be a little bit weird if another version of Oliver Queen is a Paragon, but maybe that is possible, or maybe they're recruiting somebody else. Honestly, I don't know, so let's move on. We also see a shot of certain people being evacuated from Earth-38, and again, I don't think it's going to be the whole world, but it is pretty crazy that they're taking anybody at all. It's just very different from what I expected. There's also a shot of Barry telling Black Lightning that they're going to need his help, and Black Lightning agrees, which it's really cool seeing these two characters together, because, I mean, we've never seen Black Lightning and the Flash on screen together in live action, and since they're both very prominent members of the Justice League, it's just always really cool to see something like that. And finally, Oliver doesn't want to leave Earth-38 until the whole world is evacuated. I mean, the Monitor says that the world isn't entirely evacuated, which just makes me question how many people could they possibly have taken. Obviously, they can't take everybody, but with the Monitor hinting at that they took almost everybody, it could have been billions of people. We don't know. It's insane. But anyway, Oliver says it's not time to leave yet, but I'm guessing he's going to be forced to leave by the Monitor so he doesn't get destroyed, as we see a shot of Earth-38 being destroyed again. And it's crazy that they actually teased this, or they actually confirmed this and spoiled this in the trailer, but this is not what I expected at all. Honestly, I wish they didn't show this in the trailer. I wish this was actually a something that was spoiled, that we saw for the first time in the actual crossover. But anyway, there's a really, really cool montage of Pariah saying that everything is going to be doomed, with a couple shots of Green Arrow, the Flash, Supergirl with her glasses broken, and Earth-90 Flash. It just really ends this trailer very nicely. One last thing is that in the title card, we see Oliver is there. Before it was, you saw White Canary, Flash, Monitor, Supergirl, Batwoman, and an arrow. Not the arrow, just an arrow as in the logo. The reason for that was some sort of legal reason, but now they were able to put Oliver in the title card, and it completes it. It's way better. So that is it for this breakdown. Let me know your thoughts on everything I talked about in the comments down below. And if you like this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.